All right. Second sheet. We have some concentric holes. Bring these legs out beyond the largest of the two concentric objects, the full round. And then this one just goes here beyond the circular hole. Now you can connect, and a lot of people do this, called a continuation line. That means that these are in alignment. You could do that if you want to. These, usually you're not going to just stop it right on the edge of a hole, but sometimes the software just does that. Let's see. I might need, let me see. We can get the height here. We can get the width here. We can get the width also in this view. We have to have this view because of the holes, and to say that, and the full rounds, and to say that they're concentric. We can get where this is located, but we cannot see this angle. So if I have to have, I cannot just have this view and this view. If I need this angle right here, because that's more descriptive than this, it looks like a step or something in it, and I can't tell what's going on. You guys, what do you think? So I need this view, I think, for this angle, and it could be in X and Y positions of these points, or it could be an angular dimension. I can tell how tall this little step is. So if I need this view, I would say that I would take all three of these. Any questions on this one? Getting the hang of it? On number 2, these views look almost the same. It looks like a mirror image, doesn't it? I might draw this view first. It's got the hole in it. I'm going to need that view. But I can't tell how tall each one of those pieces are. I can't tell if this is a cut or a protrusion. So I might draw this because it has all this stuff. And then I can just project those edges down. I got this one, this one. Now this visible edge overrides the hidden edge. This edge is in the same location as that one, so those just continue straight down. And we have our hole. Now we have this edge right here. So this visible line overrides the hidden hole for a little bit. But you can see by this center line that that hole goes all the way through because it goes completely beyond the circular object. That helps a little bit. Same thing over here. I might project around this corner. So I've already got my width. Let's say these two are in alignment, so I'm going to have a visible line overriding the hidden line there. So I'm going to start, I'm just going to try and draw over that. So we had a hidden line there, and then visible line overrode it. And I've got this notch from here to here. And then the same thing happens here with this hole. The visible edge of this notch right here overrides that hole, the hidden line for that. But we can see that it goes all the way through. Any questions on that one? Want to see that part? Okay, number 3. And I'm going to go through this really quickly. So let me get back to where I can see what I'm showing you guys. Okay, there we go. So if this is our primary, I have to have this for this hole, right? So if I have this castle block that stops, so we have a cut in it, or we just have 2 protrusions. So we have this hidden edge right here to show that that doesn't go all the way through, and that's something people miss. This is definitely one that's good for a ruler, because look at all these hidden lines up here. So I've got this profile I can draw. I can locate and draw that hole, locate where I should put it. It's like in between a grid. Up here I've got to have this view for that hole. But let's go ahead and get our visible lines. I've got a visible line here. I've got a visible line here. And that's not only for this, but it's also for these. So that edge. And this is an inclined plane. So we're going to have this visible edge and this visible edge. And then, of course, we have this one. Now, from the side, of course, we have these and then our castle blocks, just like we're seeing here, but we get our height here and here. As far as the hidden lines in this view, go along the bottom with your ruler. So if I have a vertical ruler, I've got that edge, I've got this edge, go over here, I've got this one, hidden line. Hidden line for the side of that hole. Visible line overrides the center line in the top view. No center line there. Then the side of the hole again. And then I've got an underside edge. So remember, when they're in vertical alignment, use a vertical ruler, go side to side. And we're going to use our cursor. If you want to make it go all the way across the screen, it's really easy to kind of move that across your geometry in AutoCAD. Make sure you got everything. Same thing over here, left to right. We've got our hole only goes to this depth. You see that? So the hidden line stops there. The center line goes just beyond where that hole stops. And then the hole stops at the end of the geometry there. Then we have our visible edge overrides the hidden edge of the bottom of the hole and the hidden edge of this bottom side corner. And then we have the top of that hole. Any questions on this one? Number 4, we've got kind of a rectangular pyramid, hip roof. They call this a hip roof. We'll talk about that later, but notice these right here. We're going to have these corners that come up here and connect these inclined planes, or all angled sides, to the top landing. We call it a landing because it's a little flat, like a landing area for a helicopter. All right. We've got cuts that go all the way through. We've got one that's 1 unit deep that goes side to side, so that comes through here, overridden by the visible line, goes all the way through our part. And then this one is, well, that was a half a unit. This is 1 unit deep, and it goes all the way through here. So I've got to have this for the height of this, for this shape, how big this is, this angle, the overall width. I have to have this view for this angle, for the height of this cut. Now just think about cuts. Anywhere that you have to dimension them where you can touch them. And then I've got to have the top view for the hole. So I need all 3 views. Any questions on this one? Should this go all the way through, all the way down here? The hole stops right here. So don't extend this beyond. I think it's just the software that this was used to create this. So in other words, that yellow part shouldn't be there. Stop that, just beyond that hole, like right there. This is fine because this is just out in space, but this is set. It's kind of makes me think that it's talking about that square notch, and it's not. Okay, and these could be shorter. It's just sometimes the software and how big the hole is that you're drawing, or the circle. All right, let's go to number 5. This is the one that everybody has questions on. So, which view would you draw first? I might draw this one first. I might draw this top-down view first, because this is my primary. So this is my top view, and it has all this shape. It has this slot with a full round at the back of it. So let's look at this one. We've got an inclined plane that goes up to a landing where the helicopter's going to sit. And then we've got another inclined plane. It's like slides. So we've got that's 1 unit and 1 unit and our landing. So these are going to cross and make a square up there. Now with this one, this is a quarter round. So I'm going to tell you something about this. I don't really use, I never ever have a center mark on a quarter round. You're not ever going to put that in a drawing. Most likely never. You know why? Because what is a radius of this? It's 1, 2 units. And if I call this out with a radius of 2, I'm just going to measure 1, 2 in and 1, 2 up, and that is my center. I'm never going to locate a quarter round by its center. And the reason is the quarter round always wants to be tangent. So if this corner came down here, I'm taking 2 off this way and 2 off this way, and that's going to be absolutely smooth. So I do not put center marks in quarter rounds. And I'm not going to ever make you put a center mark in a quarter round. Alright, so I do have a center mark on a full round that's 180 degrees. So I would have one leg here, and one leg here, because there is no curvature over here. Now there's a little notch in this one. And that brings up this foreshortened little, I mean, you really have to project this geometry. So if I project that down, that's the width. Oh, there's that edge. That's why we have that little piece there. And then we have this one. Now what is this? This is the back of this cut. And so we have that hidden edge to show that that stops right. Something goes to right there. Something is right there. And we see by this, because if we have a bullseye, not this one, and so therefore I wouldn't have this, right? Because that's for that bullseye. And we don't need a bullseye on a quarter round. So from this bullseye, I have to have an axial center line. I have an axial center line here, and that's that slot with that full radius at the back. And then just project your geometry like we did up and down here. We do the same thing over here. And then I've got this little notch. This one. Bam. And then I come over here to this one. So what questions do you have that was confusing you guys? I mean, this probably would have confused me because we haven't talked about putting a center mark in a quarter round. And this. Was that it? Yeah. Some of these do that, and there's more than one that does this too. In a quarter round, don't worry about putting it there. Doesn't matter if the solution shows it. Okay? Because it's not required by the standard. I don't know why it's in here, and I've asked all these things, and sometimes they get changed, sometimes they don't. Alright, next one. Number 6. This is a 1. Quarter round, quarter round, quarter round. Full round. So don't need this one. Don't need this one. Don't need this one. Same thing here. And of course I didn't put them over here, so I don't understand that. Except that there is a hidden line for the back of this notch that's in alignment. There's not one right here though. So here's something that's kind of interesting, and I want to show you guys. This blends out. That's what we call tangency. You see how there's no edge there? That's all so smooth. So if we took the center line away right here, we would not have an edge right there, you guys, where that blends out. Where that blends from that radius to a flat, do not have an edge. Unless it's not tangent. And usually quarter rounds like this, if it's from a quadrant to a quadrant, horizontal to vertical, that's going to be tangent. Absolutely at the east, west, north, south quadrant with a horizontal or a vertical line. Like that, 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 that. Okay, those would be tangent at those quadrants only, right where the center mark crosses it. So we have, this one goes beyond the largest of the concentric objects. Well, it's not curved down here, so it just goes beyond the circle. This one goes beyond the full round. This one, just go on beyond the full round up there. It's fine. You don't have to stop down here if you don't want to. Go on here. This kind of shows that it's more about this curve than this square notch. So some of these are a little bit, you got to use your best judgment, but you know, I'm just telling you what I would do, and I've been doing this a long time. We've got this square notch, got that notch. So we have a hidden line here for our square notch, the hole, and then this square notch on the front. The lines for the square notch, the hidden lines for the hole, and then that center, one axial center line for both of these curved features or circular features. Same thing here. Questions? All right, we're almost through these. I'm going to stop this one.